Hey guys, it's me. It's Queen or Set Her Rule, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button, smack the bell, give this video a big thumbs up, and if you have time, pass it on to somebody out there who might need to see it. Leave us a positive comment in the comments section too, and stay to the end of the video because I'm going to read out a couple of my favorite comments. And who knows, maybe yours was one of my favorites. So someone asked me to talk about this from an Aquarius point of view. Now, mind you, I can't say every Aquarius does this exactly the same way or has the same thought processes, but I'm sure many of us at least consider these things. Likewise, if you have some to add to this list that I don't mention, please do so in the comment section. So this person asked me, how does an Aquarius know when it's time to move on? She said that she's been around a lot of Aquarius, and she says sometimes they end the relationship and just move on. They ghost or they cut the person off and they're just out. And other times, people who she thinks they should cut off, they don't. So she was like, how does an Aquarius know when it's time to move on? And she asked me about personal times when I've kicked somebody to the curb, and how did I know to kick them to the curb versus to work with them? And I have a couple of things on my personal criteria. First of all, it really depends on how I feel about the person. That's really the bottom line. Because if I really care about the person, the chances of me trying to work on it, trying to work through it, are extremely high. It depends on some other factors going down the list, but that's the first one. How much do I care about this person? Do I love this person? Is this person just an associate? Is this somebody I just talked to and I'm bored? Or is this somebody I'm really invested in, emotionally invested in? Because if I'm emotionally invested in a person, it's more likely I'm going to go more rounds with them. You guys know I loved Voldemort. I loved Voldemort to death. And for 2 years, I put up with him and tried to work with him and tried to make our relationship have some kind of resemblance of normalcy. And even after I decided to leave him alone, I still, on many different occasions, talked to him and attempted conflict resolution. I attempted to heal the situation. I attempted to mend all of the parts that were still frayed. I tried that more than one time. Even though I knew we weren't going to be together, even though I knew that he wasn't the right person for me, because I loved him and never loved anybody else like that, I tried on more than one occasion to bury the hatchet so that we could at least have a cordial, maybe not a friendship, but a cordial relationship. Now, I wouldn't have tried that many times with anybody else. Bottom line. Nobody else has ever gotten that many times from me. And it was only because of how intensely I cared about him. And finally, I just had to accept that no matter how much I cared about him, I couldn't work with somebody who is mentally ill. I can't work with somebody who's a narcissist. There's nothing I can do. Because no matter what I say, he would find a way that it was problematic. No matter what I said or tried to do or tried to work through with him, he would find a way to be an ass again. He would find a way to start being verbally abusive again. And then when you start being verbally abusive, I'm only going to take but so much before I snap on you. So we would end up right back in the same predicament time and time again. Finally, I just had to accept this is never going to change. Don't talk to this person anymore. It's not going to change. Let go of your feelings and move the hell on. And that's the conversation I had to have with myself. But the first criteria is, how do I feel about the person? The second criteria is it going to work? Because as you see in the case with Voldemort, even though the feelings are there, I knew it wasn't going to work. So I had no choice but to let it go. I had no choice but to let go and move on. Once I had tried every angle, every possible conflict resolution skill that was in the books, all I could do was let go and move on. So even though the feeling was there, I had to accept it wasn't going to work. So recently I've told you guys about situations that I've been in. I've identified 3 people from situations that I've had. Now over the past, I guess it's been like 3 years, I've kicked 3 people to the curb. 2 were just internet people that I really didn't know. And the 3rd one was somebody I really had a good, well, I thought at the time, a good friendship with. Now with the first person, she and I, or I'm gonna talk for myself, I cared about her. I cared about her immensely. Like almost like a little sister or a family member, you know? I took her everywhere with me. I bought her all kinds of cool stuff. That was my ace, you know? She helped me. She taught me the country. She took me different places in Costa Rica. She taught me a little bit of Spanish, pequeño, just a little bit, because it was my fault because I wasn't practicing enough. And we had a really great relationship. The emotion was there. I cared about her. I cared about her enough to resolve the conflicts that we would possibly have. But in the end, I realized it wasn't going to work. And no matter how many rounds I danced with her, this relationship was not going to be worth it for me. Because if you guys remember correctly, she stole from me. She stole $40 off my altar. So not only did you violate me, you violated my sacred space. So that right there in itself, I knew I couldn't use conflict resolution because I was never going to trust her again. I'm always going to be looking over my shoulder, watching my pocketbook, making sure she don't take my jewelry. I'm always going to be doing that now. I know that about myself. I'm never going to trust her again. Back then, I did trust her. I would leave things around. I spent the night at her house. You know, that's how she ended up getting the $40 in the first place, was because I left it on the table because, I mean, come on. I'm thinking this is my best friend. None of my other best friends, not one of them, stole $40. I'm like, are you serious? So I know I'm never going to trust her again. I'm always going to be watching my stuff. I'm always going to be looking over my shoulder, making sure she don't steal, you know, anything out of my pocketbook. I can't live like that. So because I know that about myself, that's how I knew it was time to move on and not even try to fix it. Likewise, on top of everything else, after it happened, she did little spiteful shit to me. And I wasn't the one that stole. Like, how you gonna do spiteful shit to me and you stole from me? So that told me right there was some severe mental illness. And again, it wasn't going to work out. After it was over, she told people not to be my friend. So you trying to alienate me in a country where you know I don't know that many people? What kind of sinister shit is that? And you my friend? And you want me to be friends with you again? That shows me you a plotter, and only God knows what you might get me killed. Seriously, I don't trust her at all. I don't trust her. I don't know what she might do to me. You know? Then she had loaned me a desk. She demanded to have her desk back. A desk she had nowhere to put. She had no room for it. Demanded to have it back. So I sent it back with a mutual friend. She got mad at the mutual friend because she brought it back for me. And then treated her like shit, cussed her out, called her all kinds of names. And I was just like, nah, So after all of this happened, she kept stalking me, kept calling my phone over and over again, kept emailing me, called my daughter. I mean, she became a real fucking irk. And I don't like being stalked. I've had that happen to me too many times. So once we finally talked to each other and I forgave her and like buried the hatchet, it was no way in hell I was going back to that relationship to give her another chance to do something else. Because I don't really feel like she's trying to be my friend again because she wants to come back forward or because she misses me. I feel like she misses the things I did for her. So that's not going to work for me. None of that's going to work for me. The other two I told you about, the internet people, I didn't try at all with them. I just gave them 3 chances. I'm the kind of person who you might get 3 chances. It depends on how bad the infraction is. If you do something really screwed up to me, like the case of the first person I was talking about, the Virgo, that was really the first thing she did that was really that awful. So normally she would have gotten 2 more chances, but it was so awful that I cannot put myself back in that position again. I can't let you victimize me again. You lucky you got the first shot. You're not getting past the second one. So when it came to the 2 internet people, I don't care. I don't care enough. I don't care enough about the relationship to put my energy into it. Do you realize how much energy it takes to be in a relationship with the person and to work through a situation that you go through, conflict resolution style? It takes a lot of energy to talk about it, to compromise, to forgive each other. It takes a lot of energy. And those 2 people I really didn't know. I just knew them online, number 1. And number 2, I didn't care enough about the relationships. I didn't care enough about the relationships to be invested in them, to go 20 rounds to try to resolve the conflicts. It was much easier just to kick them to the curb and keep it moving, because at the end of the day, like I said, it's about emotional investment, and I wasn't emotionally invested enough to really go there, you see? So that's how I decide. It's based on how severe the infraction is, how much I care about the person. Is it actually going to work? I ask myself all of these questions. The last time this happened, a couple days ago, with the young lady that I kicked to the curb, that's exactly what I asked myself. I asked myself, is this important to you? And if it's important to you, then use your conflict resolution skills and work this out. And in my heart, I was just like, it's not that important to me. I'm not going to miss her, and I don't really feel like going through everything I got to go through to change that. So that's how I decide when it's time to move on. When it's a friend, when it's a lover, I ask myself these really difficult questions, and I'm honest with myself. If it's worth it, then do it. You know, if I really felt strongly, like in the case of the 2 internet people, if I really felt a strong connection with them, I would have done it. I would have inboxed them and talked to them and tried to work things out. But I just didn't feel that. I felt like they were associates at best, you know, and I didn't have that energy, that in my heart, like I need to try to work this out. It was much easier to just let it go and move on, you know? It is what it is. All right, now let me tell you guys my 2 favorite comments. CorrineC said, I'm into kink. Laugh out loud. My husband and I have way too much fun. I was talking about Aquarius and how we're into kink and sex and things like that, some of us. And she said she's definitely into that, and her husband have way too much fun. The point is, you're having that fun with your husband. You're doing it together. So there's no such thing as too much fun when the 2 of you are married and you're consenting adults. Keep on having fun. Enjoy yourself. Try new things. Keep it going. That's what keeps the spice in the relationship. So thank you for your comment, Coolin' with K. And have sex. Have sex. Enjoy it, you know. Enjoy it. I know I did. When I was sexually active, I had a great time. It's been a long time, but it was once upon a time. Number 2, Pat Coco. They think they know Aquarius, but that's on the surface, not deep down. Yesterday, I was talking about how people don't know Aquarius. Most people don't really know their Aquarius. They think they do, and that's what she's getting to here. People know us on the surface, not deep down inside. You might know what we're into. You might know the things we like to do, the kind of music we like, the food we like to eat. You might know those kind of things, but do you really know what the Aquarius thinks and feels? And in most cases, people do not. All right, guys, it's time for me to get going. So remember, all of my information is underneath this video. If you would like to get a reading, please email me. If you would like to contact me, I'm on social media, and all that is underneath this video. Okay, guys? Come back soon because I have a lot more to say. See you later.